Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Welcome everybody. This is Josh Shanley. I'm your host for today's training class, co-founder of Client Alchemist and licensed agent with eXp Realty. We've got a great class for you today. Really excited to share this with you and excited that you're here with me as well. And you're in the right place if you're looking for the training on how Justin, one of our clients, sold 275 homes last year using what we call the Client Alchemist way, without any cold calling, prospecting, or door knocking, without any chasing or begging for business, right? And so we've got some great stuff planned for you. And first, let's take care of some housekeeping. Number one, can you let me know in the question box, can you hear me and can you see the screen? Oh, you probably can't see the screen. Now, hopefully you can see the screen. And also, I would love to hear where you are tuning in from, what market you're in. Tim says, all set in Toronto. Another in Toronto. Okay, Chicago. Montreal, Quebec. All right. Windham, New Hampshire, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Washington State. Jen, thank you. Good. Okay. Terrific. So you can hear me and see the screen. Always a little paranoid about that. That's all good. Number two, do me a favor and do yourself a favor by removing all distractions. Turn your phone on vibrate, close down any other browsers you may have open, close your door, and give me your undivided attention for the next 60 minutes or so. And I promise if you do that, you are going to get more out of our time together, or better yet, get the most out of our time together here. You're here for a reason. You're looking for something. And so let's make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that it's worth your time. Number three, remain open-minded, willing to have a mindset shift, maybe even a breakthrough. And just understand the idea that, if you're looking for something, if you're here right now, there's a reason for that. You're in the right place at the right time. And now you've got to be open to that information. Lastly, I will be happy to stay on for live Q&A after the training class today. And if or when you have questions, please post them in the question box. And just understand, I'm flying solo here today, so I will address all of your questions during the Q&A session at the end of our time. Now, most of you probably already know this, but for those of you that don't, I have a little spoiler alert. I do have a special offer for you at the end of our training class today. And in fact, this is an offer I don't think we've ever made before, and one that can help you regardless of where you're at in your business. If you're a brand new agent just getting started, if you're an experienced agent who's maybe looking for other sources of business, or anywhere in between, this special offer is going to apply to you, and you're going to want to take advantage of it. But I promise you, we're going to dig into some great stuff. I've got some great content planned for you. I've been working on the slides all week, finished them up literally minutes before we went live. So I'm going to go at this point, because it seems like all systems are go. I'm going to move to full presentation mode, and we'll continue from here. So here's what you're going to discover as we go through the training class today. The one thing above all else that will determine your success as a real estate agent. And quite honestly, this applies to any area of your life. If you build this, the one thing that you will build or can build where people will come, right? I'm a huge fan of the movie Field of Dreams. Is probably one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. When I was in, it came out when I was in middle school, and my buddy and I, we went and saw it in the theater, and we hid and watched it again 2 times in a row. That's how much I loved it. Anyway, if you build this, people will come. And by people, I mean clients, builders, referral partners, and more. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll give examples of what I'm talking about and how you can leverage that idea. The absolute best content to leverage if you'd like to attract more clients and, more importantly, sell more homes. Also, how to ensure you're not starting from scratch, quote unquote, every single day, and instead building a business by compounding clients, plus a whole lot more. So here's my goal for you during this training class. This was the best imagery I could find of a golden nugget. And my goal for you, my goal when I attend training classes like this, is to find one gold nugget, one idea, one thought that I can then take and implement and get a result from, right? Get an ROI from. It may be a brand new idea to you, a completely new concept to you, or it may be a concept that you are reminded of thanks to today's training and the things that we have planned for you. So the thing for you, or the challenge to you, is find that gold nugget for you. And it's going to be different for everyone. And for some of you, it may be multiple. And that's great as well. So, as I mentioned before at the beginning, my name is Josh Shanley. I'm the co-founder of Client Alchemist and ClientAlchemist.com. I'm also a licensed real estate agent with eXp Realty. I'm happily married for almost 16 years now, or I guess 15 and a half or so. And my wife and I are incredibly blessed with four wonderful and interesting and amazing children, ages from 12 down to 5. And my wife and my kids are my why. They're why I've built multiple businesses now over the years, and they're why I choose to help others as well. Others like yourself, those of you listening right now. I have been and had the pleasure and the privilege of training, coaching, and working with real estate professionals all throughout the U.S., Canada, and beyond for over 10 years now. And further had the honor and privilege of sharing the stages with people like Gary Keller of Keller Williams Realty. This is me. This image here is me on stage at a mega agent camp a number of years ago now, speaking in front of, I don't know, it was like 9,000 or 10,000 people being interviewed by Gary about some of the processes and principles and pillars that we're going to dive into today. And I've had the pleasure and privilege of being on other stages as well over the years. And but you know, the reality is it wasn't always this way. And I just want to tell you a quick story about why I have this image on my screen. This is a picture of my home, my wife and I. I would consider it our dream home. This was one of my favorite pictures of the house, lit up for Christmas. And I'm sharing this image for a couple of reasons. Number one, for me, for us, this is our dream home. For some of you, it might be, you know, quite modest, and for others, maybe not. But for someone who, growing up, I lived very, very modestly in fact, actually 2 of the 3 homes that I lived in growing up have been torn down because they were so old and ended up being condemned and torn down. You know, my parents worked very hard and they were entrepreneurial, self-employed. But, you know, we always kind of just scraped to get by. So for my wife and I, this is our dream home. But there was a time in my entrepreneurial journey where it was potentially turning into a nightmare because I was struggling. I was struggling to achieve the kind of success that I knew was possible and I saw for myself. I just couldn't make it happen. And it got to the point where we were going to have to sell our home. In fact, there was a time where we had a for sale sign in our yard and going to have to move in with my in-laws. Now, it was kind enough of them to offer that for us. But nonetheless, that was not something I was excited about. Now, fast forward, and the good news is, for myself anyway, was that never happened. And the reason why it never happened, it all comes down to the pillars and the principles that we're going to share on today's training class. I was able to apply the same pillars and principles that we're going to outline that Justin is using in his business and many, many other successful clients of ours to now successfully build several multi-million-dollar businesses and be able to help thousands and thousands of real estate professionals like yourself. It's also, these pillars and principles have also helped me create the kind of lifestyle and freedom to do the things that I want to with the people that I want to, most notably spend time with my family, be able to coach my oldest son and really all of our children. But this is he and I. I'm the head coach of his travel baseball team, and we're having a good time after he just bombed one. And this is me coaching my oldest daughter, Sammy, last spring. This is my girls having the time of their life at Disney, which we've been able to make 4, 5, 6 trips to over the year as a family, all because of what you're going to learn on today's training. The freedom that it creates when you understand and apply the principles and the pillars that we're going to dig into. Now, we've hinted at this already, but this is an email, a letter that came in from one of our most successful clients, a guy by the name of Justin Meyer. That's the Justin in the title of today's class. And so this is a little bit hard to read. So I've taken the text of this and I've broken it up onto several slides, and I want to read it to you for several reasons. It says, I started real estate in 2010. The market was pretty low then, and I was fresh and ready to start. I had a rocky start, closing about 8 deals in my first year. In 2011, I found you, or you found me, or a combination of those both, with your marketing. Since then, I've grown to be the #1 team agent in my area. I now have a big team, 4 buyer's agents, a listing specialist, myself as the team leader, and 2 full-time assistants. We closed 220 deals in 2015, edging the previous big dog in the market by about 15 deals. Our average sales price in my area is $272,000 for 2015. Your members can do the math on that one. By the way, this letter originally came in several years ago. I am going to update you on his progress and share the most recent letter that we got from Justin as well. My main lead generation techniques are the ones you teach. I wrote you a long time ago about how I sat down one day and followed them step by step. I blotted out a huge chunk of a day and did every step in a row without taking a break. By the end of the day, I was already generating leads. Funny side story, I was generating so many leads so quickly that the real estate board called me in to talk about how that wasn't fair and that I must be doing something wrong or unethical. True story. In one of my email blasts, I said, I'm excited to say that we have 800 people that have subscribed to my service. Well, another realtor from our board obviously was one of those people, and they complained that I was marketing other brokerage listings by making the offer that I was making. Of course, our board rules say we can do that, so nothing ever happened. They just didn't think it was fair that a new realtor was selling so much, was having so much success. Anyway, I use your programs every day, and I've tweaked them to my own needs because of one audience that I created, which is a free list of new construction homes in his area. I've landed a total of 6 builders as clients over the years. Just one of those clients alone does over 40 transactions per year, and we've double-ended a ton of those listings with your systems. They see that I'm generating many leads, and they can get those leads if they hire me. I know this is long, but I saw your post asking for stories. We had solicited feedback. You have done nothing but boost my career and my entire lifestyle since we met, quote unquote, in 2011. I owe you a big debt of gratitude. So I hope my stories can help you inspire all of your community. And then this is the most recent update that I got from Justin not long ago. He says, hey, Josh, things have been going great. It was a hectic year for me. We had another baby, finally got a girl. We had another great year as a team, too. We finished off the year, this is 2018, at 275 deals. We had some cool stories, too. Like one of my buyer's agents had such a good few years that he has opened up a restaurant. We just moved to a new building this week, needed something bigger for the team. So, yeah, it's been a bit hectic around here. Haha. How about you? How have you guys been? Thanks. So, this is an important note that I want to bring up. We're not going to spend a ton of time on the specific tactics that Justin employed, okay? We're not going to dive into specific tactics because those are documented in detail in my Amazon best-selling book and many other places by us. Instead, what we're going to do today is spend a bulk of our time diving into the underlying pillars and principles that drove and continue to drive Justin's success and the success of his entire team. By the way, these same pillars are what drive the success of all of our clients and partners. Folks like Paul Nelson, who consistently gets up to 15 to 1 ROI on ads and sells 4 to 7 homes per month like clockwork. Or like Kathy, who in her first 6 months with us had generated over 100 leads, had 5 new clients, and 15 more in the pipeline ready to go within the next 6 months. She says, wow. Or like Ron, who got an appointment from the very first lead that he was able to bring into his pipeline following the pillars and principles. Or like Carolyn, who says, I've been using your system for about a month. I did meet with a woman who will be selling a $600,000 home and buying a little over $4,000. So someone downsizing, but look at that, over a million in volume. And at the end, she says, I have 50 leads in a month, much better than anything else I've done. Or Zach, as a newer agent, he says, this has completely changed my business. I went from basically no leads at all to having leads flowing in every day. It's been extremely helpful and is super easy. Or Jeffrey, who says, so far with your system, I've closed 2 deals worth over $1 million and a listing of 1.3 million with your techniques. So here's the deal. Let's dig into the pillars. I've got 5 of them, and I have some bonus nuggets for you as well. Pillar number 1 is this. There's raw power in simply taking massive right action. Massive right action. And I'll read this to you again. My main lead generation techniques are the ones you teach. I wrote you a long time ago about how I sat down one day and followed them step by step. I blotted out a huge chunk of a day and did every step in a row without taking a break. By the end of the day, I was already generating leads. He dove in. Justin dove in with both feet. He didn't let fear or other irrational thoughts stop him or hold him back. He didn't look for all the reasons that it might not work. Instead, he did the exact opposite. He suspended his disbelief, put blinders on, and took massive right action. And when you do that, and because he did that, he created this winning belief cycle. So it started off with the belief that it was going to work, right? He saw that others were having success, just like the folks that I just mentioned as well, Carolyn and Zach and Jeffrey and Paul and so forth. He saw that it was working for others, so he had this belief that it would work, and he had a belief in himself, right? Then he went out, found the education, found the training, found our training. After doing some research, he took action. The action he took generated results, and those results created more belief. And that the greater the belief, it becomes a positive sort of snowball effect. Because the more your belief grows, the more you dive in, the more action you take, the more results you have, the more your belief grows. And it all feeds one another. It all feeds one another. Now, there's a big caveat. Caveat? Tomato? I've said this several times, and I'm going to repeat it again. He took massive right action. Massive right action. If you want to build a business that grows naturally year over year, then you need to focus your time and energy on compounding assets. Assets that you control, not activities that are 100% reliant on your time, cold calling, door knocking, etc., and also reliant 100% on other people and where they're at as far as their motivation for wanting to buy or sell real estate. There's no control in that, right? You've got to focus on creating and compounding assets and audiences that you control. All right, so that's pillar number one. The power in just simply taking massive right action. Pillar number two, when you build an audience, business will find you. If you build it, they will come. They will come, Ray. They'll come from all over, not just Iowa. Anyway, sorry. But when you build an audience, business will find you. Let's go back to Justin's story. Anyway, I use your programs every day, and I've tweaked them to my own needs. Because of one audience I created, which was he built a database of people in his market that were interested in buying a new construction home. Okay, so he built a database of buyers interested in new construction properties in his market. And because of that, he's landed a total of 6 builders as clients over the years. And that number has probably grown. Just one of them does over 40 deals a year with me. And they've double-ended a ton of those listings with our systems. The builders see that I'm generating many leads, and they can get those leads if they hire me. Basically, he built an audience, and those folks are hiring him because of that audience that he's built. Now, this doesn't just work for builders. This has many implications, right? This is an asset, an audience that can be leveraged in many different ways. When you're meeting with a potential seller, if you've got a database of active, engaged buyers, they're going to be interested. That's how they can get access. So when you build an audience following our documented process and best practices, you have the ability to create demand for your services at will, which ultimately gives you more control over your business, who you choose to work with, and more peace of mind. I'll repeat that. This gives you more control over your business, the ability to choose who you work with, and ultimately more peace of mind. Okay? And this goes into that compounding assets concept, compounding assets. So that's pillar number 2. When you build an audience, business will come and find you. Pillar number 3. This is a big one, and this is one that many people struggle with. It's okay, and quite honestly, most times required to, quote unquote, ruffle a little feathers, okay? I love this image. Want freedom to win? What freedom to win really looks like. So let's dig in again. Funny side story. I was generating so many leads so quickly that the real estate board called me in to talk about how that wasn't fair and that I must be doing something wrong or unethical. True story. In one of his email blasts, he said, "I'm excited to say that we have 800 people that have subscribed to my service." Well, another realtor from our board obviously was one of those people, and they complained, which, by the way, we have very efficient ways and effective ways to make sure that, we're not marketing intentionally to our competition. Anyway, side notes. They complained that I was marketing other brokerages' listings by making the offer that he was making in this case. Of course, our board rules say that we can do that, so nothing ever happened. This is the most important thing. They just didn't think it was fair that a new realtor was selling so much. And I don't even know I don't think we have it in here, but in Justin's first, I'm going to probably mix these up, but in his first 60 days with us, way back in 2011, I think he did 9 transactions in his first 60 days. And I might have those numbers transposed. It might be 6 and 90. No, I think it's 9 transactions in his first 60 days. Okay? Now, that can't happen unless you're following these pillars, unless you're willing and able to take massive right action, build a compounding audience, and be okay ruffling a few feathers. Dan Kennedy, who is, if you've never heard of him, he is an incredible direct response marketer. In fact, he may be the greatest direct response marketer of all time. And he's got some incredible training and marketing and just a lot of experience. And I read this quote very early on in my entrepreneurial and marketing journey, and it has stuck with me forever. If you haven't offended someone by noon each day, then you aren't marketing hard enough. If you haven't offended someone by noon each day, then you aren't marketing hard enough. Now, I'm not saying that you're intentionally trying to offend people with your marketing, but what I am saying is this: if you try to be all things to all people, you end up being nothing to no one. It's okay and possibly even required to be at least a little bit polarizing, because neutral equals nothing. Again, I'm not talking about being overly political or going out of your way to try and offend people, but understand that let's think about it this way. If right now what you're doing is knocking on doors and cold calling, odds are you're offending a lot of people. So in the reality of things, what we do and the principles and best practices that we apply is doesn't even come remotely close to that kind of offensive and polarizing and frustrating, right? I mean, think about it. How many of you love to receive cold calls, or love it when someone is knocking on your door trying to sell you X, Y, or Z, right? My guess is very few of you are raising your hand right now. So this is a bonus pillar, all right? This is a bonus. This wasn't even one of the 5. But this is something I promise you, if you fully embrace this idea, it creates a level of confidence and peace of mind that no one else can take from you, which is this: marketing. The skill of marketing is the most recession-proof skill there is. And if you embrace and employ this law, and it really is a law, this is fact, you will have more control and be able to create demand for your services at will. Marketing is the most recession-proof skill there is. The reality is, all of you on here are not in the real estate business. Real estate is what you sell. But the business you're in is marketing your services. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people out there, coaches, gurus, trainers, most likely your broker, they want you to do things to market your services in a way that isn't efficient, it's not effective, it's painful for both you and the person on the other end. And it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. You have a choice. And if you embrace this fact and the opportunity that we have for you, that there is for you, it will change your business for the better, forever. All right. Pillar number 4. Stories are client magnets. Stories are client magnets, okay? Stories can be the most effective marketing material you use. Now, why is that? Because they are engaging and attractive to people. You should be leveraging the stories of your clients to attract more clients. They can also help you position yourself in such a way that you don't even really have to do any selling. Notice, I shared some of my personal story and some stories of others, and this whole training class revolves around the story of one of our clients, okay? Very meta, if you will. If you serve your clients in a positive way, they will tell people how awesome you are, how trustworthy you are, how great you are to do business with. All of it comes from your satisfied client. So you have this on your radar. Be intentional about finding stories you can use in your marketing. This isn't just going to fall in your lap. It requires a little elbow grease on your part. But let me go back and before we get into that point. When you embrace this better way of doing business, what we call the Client Alchemist way of building an audience and attracting clients to you, folks are much more likely to go out and be an advocate for you. And here's what I mean. If you got a client through consistent and persistent badgering of cold calling or door knocking and things of that nature, let's face it, that is not a pleasurable experience for either of you, but especially your client. How likely is that client going to be to either consciously or subconsciously want to expose their friends, their family, their acquaintances to that, versus building a business and attracting clients to you, following our best practices in a way that is both pleasurable for you and for the client? The difference is they are going to be much more likely to be an advocate of you because the experience is wildly, wildly different. All right, another gold nugget, possibly for you. Maybe this way would work for you. A student of ours, one of our clients, a longtime client, Tim Kindom, great real estate agent in southwest or southeast, I think southwest, Minneapolis. What he does is he will actually write the client's story or testimonial and simply gets their approval on it. And while that can be a bit of work, it's a very powerful strategy because you control the story. Here's what I mean by that, right? Leading up to a closing, a transaction closing, you can write up the story based upon your perspective and what those clients have shared with you. Maybe it's someone that had tried to sell their home in the past, and you help them actually get it sold, and you can tell that story for them. You can write up that story for them very simply, right? And maybe it goes something like this: I had been trying to sell my home for more than a year, and then Mr. or Mrs. your helpful agent came along, and because he is a known professional and already has a great audience, he turned my terrible situation into a done and sold situation. Now, that's actually probably more polished and scripted than it even needs to be. And, you may not have to do this. You may have very outgoing and excited clients that if you just turn on the camera on your phone, right, a little selfie video, they might tell the story for you, okay? The big point here is being intentional about looking for those stories. And odds are, if you've done any transactions, you already have stories that you could go back and leverage. And you can go back to past clients and say, hey, would you mind if I tell use your story, your experience in my marketing, your experience with me. And if you've done a good job for them, which most of you do and have done, they're going to be happy and more than willing to to let you do that. So hopefully you can see how you can craft and control the story on their behalf. And so, as I said, most of your clients will be more than happy to sign off on that. And again, many of them are probably, in the day and age and the era we live in, more and more people are happy and willing to hop on camera and record their experience. But some people might say, no, that's okay. You'll have a bunch of others that are ready anyway. So here is how you can leverage those testimonials in two ways. Okay, leverage these, right? Because it's one thing to collect them. It's another thing, to look at, okay, how can I strategically use these stories so that I can get more clients from them? Okay, number one, they can help you get into more into conversations with more of your existing audience. Okay, so here's how. You take those stories and you craft them into an email or a text message or a Facebook post on your personal profile and or on your business page, or into an Instagram post, or into a LinkedIn post, or better yet, everywhere. Everywhere. You take that story and you tell it very simply, and you use it and you distribute that. And the call to action with that is, who do you know that's thinking about buying or selling right now? I'd love to be able to help them. Call or text me at this number, right? Call or text me at this number. The other great way is to help grow your audience, to grow your database. And we have numerous ways that and examples and sort of templates of doing this, and how you can leverage it. But let's go back to this situation. You can take this person's story, turn it into a Facebook and Instagram campaign designed and target existing homeowners in your marketplace, and tell that story. And the call to action is simple. Who do you know that's thinking about selling? Call or text me at this number. It's one of the most effective ways that we have found to get the absolute, it's called, what we call it is our come list me seller referral template. Because when you can leverage stories like these, you can turn them into great client attracting things. Now, you can do the same thing on the buyer side. We had been trying to buy a home for the last 2 years, and it just kept hitting dead ends. And we finally decided to work with so-and-so, and they got us hooked up with a great lender who helped us get pre-qualified, found some special financing programs available for us, and now we couldn't be happier to be living the American dream of home ownership, kind of thing, right? And then the call to action is, who do you know that's thinking about buying a home? Let's talk. Call or text me at this number. All right. So we got the 4 pillars. Pillar number 5. Pillar number 5. Consistent action equals exponential results. Exponential. Compounding results. Compounding results, right? Especially if we're talking about consistent right action. Taking the right actions, right? More specifically, here's what I'm talking about. Consistent action in one direction yields exponential results over time. Putting blinders on and going an inch wide and a mile deep. An inch wide and a mile deep versus going a mile wide and an inch deep, okay? Consistent action in one direction will yield you exponential results over time. Here's how in Justin's case. I had it on here. I forgot. No shock. I screwed it up entirely. In 2011, 9 deals in 90 days with our marketing, with our program that we're going to dive into here in a minute. And he had done 8 in the prior 12 months. Now, that was his first year, getting his feet wet. But that's a pretty drastic exponential increase. From 2012 to 2015, he at least doubled his business each year. He actually finished 2015 with 232. Now, when you get to that size, it's hard to keep doubling. It just is. I mean, there's factors working against you there. But he's still growing. 275 transactions in 2018. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. All of it thanks to consistently applying the 5 fundamental pillars of success that we've just walked you through. The power, the raw power of taking massive right action, jumping in with 2 feet, taking a massive leap of faith and just doing it, right? Like Nike says. The idea that if you build an audience, that business is going to find you. The willingness to ruffle a little feathers with your marketing. The understanding that marketing is really the business that we're in, and that skill is the most recession-proof skill that there is, right? Leveraging stories in your marketing channels and then consistent action, creating compounding exponential results over time. So now it's your turn to take action, because I want to personally help you over the next 4 weeks build the number one asset for your real estate business. And we're going to do that with something we're calling the Buyer Leads by Tonight 3.0 4-week live bootcamp. Buyer Leads by Tonight happens to be the program that Justin got started with way back in 2011, the program that he used, that he jumped in with 2 feet and was able to create some massive results both in the short term and now in the long term. And we've updated it and upgraded it to follow the very best strategies and tactics and best practices right here and now. And we're combining that with a 4-week live boot camp. And here's what you're going to get with the boot camp right now. For the next 4 weeks, we're going to meet live to walk you through the Buyer Leads by Tonight process, give you action items, kind of like homework, and answer all of your questions. Plus, we'll record each session and give you lifetime access to those recordings, which means if you can't make it live, we've got you covered. You don't have anything to worry about. Here's what we're going to cover on these 4-week live sessions. Week number 1 is all about getting you some quick wins. We're going to dig into the best free ways that you can attract clients right now. We're going to look at whatever assets you have and figure out how we can leverage those right now to get into conversations and thereby have appointment opportunities with those folks. And I've got, listen, if you have no assets, no audiences, you don't know anybody in your market, don't worry. I've got some tricks up my sleeve, and I will show you things that you can do even if you're in that situation. You don't have any assets, you don't have any, you don't have any old unconverted leads or any database or even any social media presence. I'll show you how to overcome all of that in week 1. Plus, again, on all 4 weeks, I'll stay on for as long as we need to address every single one of your questions. In week 2, we're going to dig into building your buyer leads on demand automated pipeline and all of the different offers and how we build those out following our 4-step process, our best practices of identifying, attracting, connecting with, and getting into conversation with your ideal clients. Choosing the offer, choosing your geographic targeting, where you're going to build that pipeline, and how to build it all out and build out an automated pipeline for you, a pipeline that you can literally turn on and off as you see fit and as you need to. In week 3, we're going to get into diagnosing early results and spend a lot of time on having the right perspective and right expectations, because that is critical to your success, both in the short term and in the long term. And then in week 4, we're going to cover retargeting, follow-up best practices, both short-term and long-term, and habits, and how to scale quickly and profitably. So here's another story from one of our clients, Kathleen. She says, I got a buyer from my first ad and put the listing under agreement, had 10 conversations. Not too shabby. So here's what you're going to get with the special offer that I put together for you today. Number 1, you're going to get the 4-week live Buyer Leads by Tonight bootcamp, plus lifetime access to the recordings. This is a $997 value. You're also going to get lifetime access to the Buyer Leads by Tonight 3.0 core training modules. This is a $497 value. In fact, if you go to our website right now, clientalchemist.com, and you click on the products tab at the top, on the top navigation at the top right, you can buy Buyer Leads by Tonight 3.0 for $497. You're not going to get the 4-week live boot camp, and you're going to pay more than what you're going to invest today with the special offer that I put together for you. So here's what's included with the core training modules. How to set up your Buyer Leads on demand client acquisition pipeline so you can literally turn that lead flow on and off like a faucet. It includes video tutorials, text and screenshots, and a whole bunch more. We also dig into one simple trick that you can use to ensure that the vast majority of all the buyer leads that you attract are also potential sellers. How about that? Multiple transaction side opportunities. Who wouldn't want that, right? And the only three things that you must check to see if your campaign is quote unquote underperforming. It really comes down to three simple things, and I'll dig into that, how you can diagnose it like a mechanic and figure out what's going on. All right, what else? The force multiplier, the quote unquote force multiplier that will help you dramatically increase the ROI on all of your campaigns so you can attract more clients for less money invested and less of your time invested in the free strategies that we dig into. Zach says this: Client Alchemist has completely changed my business as a newer agent. I went from basically no leads at all to having leads flowing in every day. It's been extremely helpful and it's super easy. So here's what you're going to get. The 4-week Buyer Lead Buy Tonight live bootcamp plus lifetime access to the recordings, a $997 value, and lifetime access to the core training modules for Buyer Leads Buy Tonight 3.0, a $497 value. When you combine those two, that's a value of $1,494. Damien, another new agent who's been in the game for 4 months, he says, I will say, wow, I've been running what I've been taught for a few days, and I've already got 2 buyers, a seller, and a ready-to-go buyer. I'd say 4 hot leads out of 11 I've gotten in this short amount of time isn't too shabby. Thank you. I was hesitant about investing, but I'm glad I did. That's not all, though, right? That's not all, because I have 3 fast action bonuses for you. Fast action bonus number 1 is this: the ultimate buyer lead text and email follow-up sequence, which is designed to attract prospects to you so you never have to chase after them. The value of this alone, and quite honestly, we're drastically undervaluing this, but the value that we've placed on this alone is $197. So to confirm, you're going to get the 4-week live boot camp, the core training modules, lifetime access to both of those, and the ultimate buyer lead text and email follow-up, bringing the total value to $1,691. Fast action bonus number 2 is a complete swipe file of additional emails, texts, ads, and campaigns that my clients and I use to generate predictable results like clockwork. And the value of this is $247. So to confirm, you're going to get the 4-week live boot camp plus lifetime access to the recordings, the lifetime access to the core training modules for Buyer Leads Buy Tonight 3.0, the ultimate buyer lead and text, a buyer lead text and email follow-up sequence, and the complete swipe file of emails, ads, texts, and campaigns that my clients and I use to generate predictable results like clockwork, bringing the value to $1,938. One more fast action bonus, and I promise you, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to tell you where you can get instant access to all of this and dig into all of your questions. But fast action bonus number 3 is this: a complete library of case studies, rock star interviews, and real life examples of what's working right now. This is a value of $497. So when you add all this together, the live 4-week boot camp, the lifetime access to the recordings of those, the lifetime access to the core training modules, and the 3 bonuses, the ultimate buyer lead text and email follow-up sequence, the swipe file of emails and texts and ads and campaigns that you can literally just copy and paste and generate predictable results, and the complete library of case studies, interviews, and real-life examples of what's working right now, it brings the total value to $2,435. But here's the deal. I promised you I was going to hook you up, and I'm going to deliver on that, because you're not going to pay $2,435 or $1,494 or even $497, which is what you can sign up for BLBT 3.0 on our website and not even get the 4-week live. All of these would be an incredible deal. You can get this right now. Right now, you can get started now for just one payment of $247. One payment of $247. One payment of $247. There's no additional costs or fees or anything like that. And you can do that right now by going to clientalchemist.com/get BLBT. clientalchemist.com/get BLBT. That stands for Buyer Leads Buy Tonight. clientalchemist.com/get BLBT. I will get that into the chat in a minute, but here's what I want you to think about. If you're wondering if this will help here, here's what I can tell you. If you have 0 listings or tens of listings or even hundreds of listings, this is going to help you. If you're a brand new agent or an experienced agent looking for a more predictable way to get clients, this will help you. If you'd like to get more buyers on demand, this is absolutely going to help you. If you have a big marketing budget or no marketing budget at all, I'm going to show you, remember week 1, we're going to dig into how you can get started for free and get some transactions going, get some clients into the pipeline. If you're sick of paying outrageous fees to lead vendors, we hear this time and again from our community on strategy calls and so forth. The costs are going up, up, and up, and the results are going down, down, down. If you're sick of that, this is going to help you. And if you're sick and tired of cold calling, door knocking, and chasing after business, this will help you. Sandy, this is pretty awesome. In the first 6 hours of implementing just one of the free strategies that I'm going to show you on week 1 or in week 1 on the week 1 call, in the first 6 hours, she was in conversation with 9 different potential clients, 5 via text, 1 via phone call, 3 via private messages. Again, all leveraging one of the free strategies that we're going to dig into. So here's the deal. You have 2 choices right now. Option number 1, you can choose to do nothing, not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. I'll get into how in just a minute. Or option 2, pony up this small investment today compared to all the value that we put together that you'll get in return, and just give it a shot. Because here's the deal. If we can't help you attract more clients and sell more homes, then we don't deserve your money, which is why I am offering a 60-day money-back guarantee. You can sign up today, and if you don't like it for any reason, I don't care if it's day 59, 23 hours and 59 minutes from now, just let me know, let us know, and we'll happily give you your money back. No questions asked, no strings attached. If you're not extremely happy with your investment, we'll offer you a prompt and courteous refund, and I'll let you keep the course anyway. I'll let you keep everything that we promised anyway, just for giving it a try. Just for giving it a try. How about that? How's that for an offer? So here's what you should do right now. Go to clientalchemist.com/getblbt. clientalchemist.com/getblbt. Fill out the safe and secure order form, and we'll get you your welcome email out later today or tomorrow morning with login credentials, the link to the 4-week live bootcamp, and all of the bonuses, etc., etc. So do that right now. Go to clientalchemist.com/getblbt. Remember, the value of everything that we put together for you today is over $2,435. You're getting it for one payment, just one payment of $247. And with that, we're going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. I'm going to get that link in the chat for everybody. So as I'm doing that, go ahead and start typing in those questions if you haven't already. And let's see. Bear with me here, and we'll get to Q&A in just a minute. All right. So some people asking, can I enroll with PayPal? Yes, absolutely. So when you go to the enrollment link, the first thing you'll notice is it does forward you to a safe and secure order form, okay? A safe and secure order form. And you can choose right here. Oh, it doesn't look like we have that set up right now. But I'll tell you what, if you want to get enrolled with PayPal, just hit up the chat, and we can hook you up with that for sure. Several already asking, and I have it on the screen here. Is there a payment option? Right? I realize some of you, you're struggling, and so we wanted to make it as easy as possible for everyone who is interested in jumping in and taking advantage of this. Every one of those folks an opportunity to do so. So we do have a payment option. You can do it's a 3-pay option of $97. So you make your first payment today, and your second payment will be 30 days from today, and your third and final payment will be 60 days from today. So first payment today, second payment 30 days from today, last payment 60 days from today. Or you can choose the 1-pay option, which will actually save you $50. and just pay one payment of $247. One payment of $247. So it looks like we are having some folks are jumping in, which is awesome. Susan Lowe's, welcome, welcome. Excited for you. Pat, excited for you as well. Nancy, excited for you, and excited to be working with you over the next 4 weeks with the live boot camp. All right. What else we got here? Let's see here. I would like to join through PayPal, says Ann. Okay, Ann, if you could please either email support@clientalchemist.com, support@clientalchemist.com, or you can use the little chat window down here, and we can certainly hook you up, and we'll get you hooked up. Susan said just signed up. Yep, we saw that. Awesome. Do we have a similar program for seller leads? Yes. Funny that you should ask that. Well, so a couple of things. Number one, the same principles, the same best practices, and of everything that we're going to do with this program would 100% apply to seller leads. That said, we will be offering that as well in the future, a seller-centric version of this live boot camp. So you can look for that. Or in the meantime, take action on this. And remember that one of the things that we're going to be showing you with this, if you remember correctly, if I can find the right slide, one simple trick that you can use to ensure that the majority of all the buyer leads you attract are also potential sellers. So you have that going for you. Who asked that question? Karen is signing up. Right on, Karen. Let's do it. Let's get it rocking. This is a great question. One that we're getting a lot. Also, as I'm doing that, Andrew, congrats, and kudos on taking action. Somebody asked, and actually two of you asked, will this work in Canada? And the answer is without question. Not only does it work in Canada, we have clients implementing this process and these best practices in the UK, Australia, New Zealand. And the reality is, it works pretty much everywhere. And in fact, going back to the Canada question, Justin Meyer, he's Canadian. So absolutely 100%. It certainly does. Just checking a couple things here. Keep those questions coming. Here's one that just popped up. What if I don't have money to invest into ad campaigns right now? So, the very first week, right? The first thing we're going to dive into is how you can leverage free strategies to prime the pump, to get the ball rolling, to get into conversations so that you can get some clients in the pipeline. And then, once those clients close and turn into transactions for you, then you can reinvest those into the compounding assets that we're going to help you build out. Scott Turner, congrats, and welcome. Let's see here. Just going through the other questions. Let's see. Go. Okay. So someone says, how does this differ from something like bold leads in terms of effectiveness or strategy? So I can't answer that specifically from my personal experience because I haven't personally used bold leads or I'm not sure if there was another one in mind. Here's what I can tell you from feedback that we have gotten from our clients is that the way we build out our pipelines, the way that we do our targeting, the way that we attract and connect with clients, we hear that often that the results that folks are seeing are exponentially better than the quote unquote industry average, which is what we've kind of heard over the years with things like bold leads, etc. What do I mean by that, or what's a specific example of that? Well, here's a story from one of our clients recently. In his first 60 days, he had generated 35 prospects, had 7 appointments, and 4 agreements. Okay? So had generated appointments from 20% of the prospects and turned 10% of them into clients, several of which were going to be multiple transaction sides. Now, that in no way, shape, or form is a guarantee of results or anything of that nature. That would be reckless, and and I wouldn't want to do that. But it is an indication of what's possible, because if Jim can do it, then you can do it. And there's, we know that. I hope you are steering us in the right direction, and this will work if we work it. 1,000% it will. And so the caveat, you hinted at the caveat. If we work it, I can promise you this. This process, this system works. It works in every market. It works for every situation, every scenario. I guarantee we haven't found a situation or a scenario where it doesn't work. The critical key component is, are you going to work it? Are you going to apply the 5 pillars that we walked through on today's training class? The pillars that Justin has used and many of our other hundreds of other successful clients have used over the years and have compounded their results. So you have my word and you have my promise that, and the reason why we're doing this as a live boot camp is to make sure that there is no one left behind, that we will spare no expense in our attempt to help you succeed with this process. Are we, after signing up, get today's yes, so those this was actually asked a couple of times, people asking about a replay of today's training class. Absolutely, 100%. We will get that out later tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. Not only the video, right, the replay, but the slides, the slide deck as well. We'll be sending both of those to all of the attendees. Paid with PayPal. Looking forward to working with you. We're looking forward to it as well. Thank you, and kudos on taking action and getting enrolled. We're Karen. It looks like Karen Baker. We are excited to be able to work with you and help you succeed. Good stuff, Karen. Thank you. Thank you. Looks like we're still waiting for Anne. Anne had asked about that. Let's see here. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? All right. Well, it looks like, I'm just kind of circling back through the questions. It looks like we have addressed most all of the questions. And I told you at the beginning we were going to spend about 60 minutes today, and we're just a little bit over that. So I do want to respect everyone's time. However, I want to cover just a couple more things. Number one, if you have any questions that that you either didn't feel comfortable asking, or I missed it for one reason or another, please email us at support@clientalchemist.com. Support@clientalchemist.com, or you can email me personally. It's just Josh@clientalchemist.com. Josh@clientalchemist.com. Or you can use the chat widget right down here. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions. I would be remiss if I didn't let you know this. This special offer is coming down when this countdown expires. And here's why. That it just so happens that this countdown ends at an hour before our first live session. Okay, our first live session, which actually, we didn't even talk about that. The first live session will be Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And remember, don't worry, if you can't make it live, we are recording all of the sessions and you will have lifetime access to them. But this special offer expires when we get to that point, which means you should take action and secure your spot right now. Scott, a great question. How soon can we start, even if we want to start after next week? So you don't have to wait for the live sessions. We will get you a login credentials to the members area, which I'll show you what it looks like here. You will get login credentials, and you can certainly dig in and get started before the live session. You don't have to wait for the live sessions to get started. Let me see here. I might have to I might have to log in. Let's see if I'm got logged in, but bear with me. For those of you who are curious, I will log in here and show you. Oh, log in. There we go. I'll show you what the members area looks like. For those of you who are curious, which I know some of you are. So we'll go to products. Tonight. All right, so here's what the members area looks like. Okay, you can click here to register for the live calls. If you need support, you can click here, or you can use this guy down here. And then as you click on modules, they'll open up for you. And as I said, they include video as well as text and screenshots, etc. So you can absolutely dig in and get started prior to our first session. For those of you who are anxious and you're go-getters, have at it. Dig in. Take action. It'll give us even more great content for our first week's session. Okay? So, all right. That said, one last call for action. Go to clientalchemist.com/get BLBT. clientalchemist.com/get BLBT. And you can use that link. You can get enrolled. You can save $50 by paying the one-time fee of $247, or we do have a payment option, 3 payments of $97, one today, one 30 days from today, and one 90 days or 60 days from today. Either way, you're going to get everything as promised, the 4-week live boot camp. I appreciate you all spending some time with me. I'll get the replay and a PDF copy of the slides out to you ASAP later today or first thing tomorrow. And I'll look forward to working with many of you and having you be our next success stories, our next client testimonials, like Justin and Kathy and Zach and Damien and Lisa, and the list goes on and on and on. So kudos, thank you all, and take action. I'll put the link in the chat one last time, and in fact, I'll put the direct link just in case there's any problem with the forwarding URL, and look forward to talking again real soon.